going into our finals match for SCS 207. On the red team, we have the Dmitrij's Angels coming out of the round-robin phase of the event with the best game score, so they will have to win one game to take the tournament. Their opponents, the Fancy Tuna Search Squad, will have to win twice. So first off for red team, we have the Aloha Watch a Goldfish with light carronades on both sides. Their ally is the Reborn Hades Dual Artemis Mobula with Gatling and light flak on the outer wings. For their opponents, Fancy Tuna Search Squad, we have the Friendfish bringing a Hwacha on the front of this Goldfish, Gatling and light carronade. And finally, the Spirit of Ice, a Corsair Center Lumberjack, and looks like Gatling Hwacha on both sides, and light flak on the rear. So already spots going down on both teams. Sometimes on this map, Ashen Shuffle, we see a lot of rotational movement, similar to Canyon Ambush, where teams are basically both flying around clockwise or counterclockwise, flying in the same direction, and end up just circling the map, not seeing each other. But in this case, both teams picking the same direction, very early spots. Friendfish with a very aggressive position, while the Spirit of Ice stays behind with the Lumberjack. I don't know if this is great positioning. Spirit of the Corsair, very tanky ship, has a lot of weapons, but only one forward facing, and Friendfish already taking a huge amount of damage as the Spirit of Ice tries to find their way into the fight. Corsair also not great forward charging speed. Although there they go, finally pumping that moonshine, and Friendfish already dead. I think blue team just not used to how slow the Corsair is actually able to reposition. Maybe overvaluing the utility of their solo Lumberjack. And now red team's moving in. They want a second point. And this is going to be tough because Artemis shots, the Corsair, pretty much all of the guns on the Corsair are exposed from the front, both the front and the side weapons as well. So good Artemis fire will be able to fully disable the Spirit of Ice before they're even able to engage those close range guns. And Friendfish, close spawn. Red team has charged into Fancy Tuna Search Squad's spawn area. And Friendfish takes a Hwacha barrage, right side Hwacha barrage as they charge in for the Reborn. Spirit of Ice just kind of still hanging back with that Lumberjack. But they've closed the distance now. They're going to go for a ram. It seems like. No. Not quite an arc. Maybe they're going for the Mobula. You know, watching the movement of the Corsair, I'm actually not quite how fast it is, because it seems to jump forward in a way that looks very odd to me. But they have closed the distance. We may finally see Hwacha coming out from the Corsair. Good connection on the Reborn. 50% health is down. Friendfish definitely going to be able to get this kill, smashing the Reborn against the ground, tying up the score as Aloha bumps against the Spirit of Ice. That's not going to work. One of the very unique properties of the Corsair is it has an absurdly high mass value. So the ship is very good at ramming. Also this huge balloon as well. Very good at ramming and very good at receiving rams as well. It doesn't take much damage, so ram-based strategy not going to work against the Corsair. Friendfish moving in. They want a second kill. They want to smash the Aloha against the map, and there's the armor break. Hwacha coming out as well. No, those are rear light flaks, actually, from the Spirit of Ice, able to pick up the kill. Curious who, I suspect probably the main gunner. Given that the Corsair is the newest ship in the game, there's still teams working out exactly how the crew setup should go, but it looked like gunner running to the rear gun once the Hwacha was on cooldown, get those light flak shots in. Seemed to work pretty well. And also, looks like Dolorum may be calling for a pause. Dolorum for the Dmitrij's Angels been talking a lot about internet difficulties in the lobbies, so Disconnect, not entirely a surprise. And looks like we'll have to wait this one out. As you see here on the map, that looks like Dionali, the gunner on the Friendfish, not the Friendfish, the Aloha, has disconnected, so gonna have a little bit of downtime. Also, I want to point out the 2 games earlier that were not streamed on my stream. They were streamed by Nerd Hector, our referee. So if you want to watch those are at twitch.tv/NerdHector. If you want to see how the Sun Soul Inverter did in their games, their debut in competitive Guns of Icarus, and maybe get those up on YouTube as well. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to Nerd Hector about that. And looks like we do have unpause, so team's gonna start moving here. Dmitrij's Angels taking a south spawn. So pretty close positioning to where the Fancy Tuna search squad currently located. As we see spots going down for both teams. This is another position that's a little difficult for Blue to attack from, because as I was talking about in the previous game, one tactic you want to employ if you're assaulting a defensive formation is to keep your altitude very low so that you can block incoming fire with the balloon. But I'm going to switch over to the blue team's location because there's this high ridge blocking the path from blue to red. It means Corsair is not going to be able to duck down. They're going to have to fly in from the height ceiling, fly over the mountain. However, seems like they're really not having any difficulty doing that, as lumberjack shots were able to suppress the Reborn sniper fire and has pushed the Dmitrij's Angels to the edge of the map. This is it. I can't reverse the camera any more than this. So red team has nowhere to escape to. Reborn very exposed if the Friendfish decides to disengage the Aloha and go for a kill. However, what happened to the goldfish? Oh, you know what? I think the Corsair needs a little more mass. I think 500 tons is not enough. Oh man. Well, that's a 2 more points for the Fancy Tuna search squad. Maybe that's the tactic. That's the Corsair tactic, is just don't even bother using the guns. Just put the ship in full throttle forward. And your opponents can't do anything about it. You just have a huge tanky target with infinity mass heading in your direction. And potentially another disconnect for at least one of the players on the Aloha. We'll see where the Dmitrij's Angels decide to respawn. I suspect they don't want to go for the close range spawn. The south spawn here that blue team is currently occupying, so maybe we'll see a spawn at the eastern wall. No, okay, well never mind. They're just auto spawning here. This might be a case. Oh, I'm not really sure. I was gonna say a case of the captain being disconnected, game automatically spawning them in. But the way the game handles disconnects and spawning is it actually passes. If your captain is disconnected, it will pass your captain role to the player in the first slot. So the game wouldn't actually auto spawn a ship unless every player on the ship is disconnected, which is not the case. So I'm not sure why they've elected to go for this extremely aggressive spawn. As Reborn spawns on the west side of the map. Aloha taking some Hwacha Barrage, dodging with the hydrogen, trying to buy some time for the ally Reborn to engage their long-range guns. And it looks like first target for the Hades Artemis is going to be the Spirit of Ice, Corsair. And once again, the Corsair has a lot of armor, a lot of permanent health, so Reborn probably not going to be able to kill them during this charge. Well, the Spirit of Ice is reversing away, so now they definitely can kill them. A little bit of waffling there from the Blue Corsair, allowing the Reborn to get a kill before they are able to go for the ram. However, Friendfish currently has the better of the Aloha, getting a balloon pop. You saw the Aloha bouncing back up, so able to utilize the terrain to regain some of their lost altitude. And this is going to be a tricky spot for both the Friendfish and the Reborn. There's a lot of terrain in the way of where the Reborn is moving in from, so if the Friendfish is able to maintain smart angles, they're going to be able to completely zone out the Mobula shots. But it looks like instead they're just going to disengage, wait for their ally, not risk the fight, not risk going for the kill on the Aloha. And they're certainly going to be able to escape. Armor and Balloon, both very healthy, so not going to really be a problem for the Friendfish. And regroup with their much slower ally. Although I feel like Corsair might be wanting to split the difference here and meet them halfway, because there's this last leg of this journey to regroup involves a very open area here, the south mouth of the Cave of Death. So Friendfish turning to re-engage. They want to fight around this mountain range because this provides cover for their ally to approach rather than fighting in the open space. And already lumberjack shots hitting the Aloha's balloon, armor down on the Friendfish. And there's this mountain here, so Friendfish loses their armor, backs away, able to completely zone out the gun arcs of the Reborn. And looks like Corsair going to be able to engage close range guns in a moment. The Spirit of Ice seems very set on using this lumberjack rather than their close range guns, which honestly to me makes me wonder why they brought a Corsair rather than just bringing a Judgment, which has a lot more forward-facing firepower and is a much better medium to long range ship than the Corsair is. But Friendfish staying behind while Spirit of Ice backs out. Reborn pushing forward. I'm not sure if... It seems like they want the Corsair, but the Friendfish has their rear, so this is not a safe position for the Reborn. And Spirit of Ice is moving back in. Gatling coming out, hitting the Reborn. This could be two Watcher barrages when the armor goes down. The first coming out from the Friendfish, but the movements of the ships, a lot of that first Watcher barrage missing, so Reborn not taking too much damage, although they do lose 2 engines. Light flax coming out from the Spirit of Ice, but hitting the armor is rebuilt in time. Watcher targeting the Friendfish. Gatling as well. We have a dual focus from the Dmitrij's Angels. Reborn trying to maintain their gun arcs, but Friendfish is able to duck below. Just looking at the Corsair really quickly, just double checking the guns. And somebody died. So Fancy Tuna Search Squad is able to get the kill. I bet if we re-watch that VOD, the ship that died, at the moment the Corsair connects with the goldfish dies. I bet that's what happens. But 5-2 victory for the Fancy Tuna Search Squad. A little bit of connection difficulties for Red Team for the Aloha, but this does mean we will be going to a second game between these two teams. Oh, well, that's enough generic Japanese hardcore for the rest of my lifetime. Let's go into our final game of today's finals. First off, for Red Team, the Fancy Tuna Search Squad, we have the Friendfish, Watch a Goldfish, with left side Gatling, right side Light Carronade. Their ally is the King Anne's Pardon, a Judgment. Hey, they took my suggestion. Front, Hades, looks like a Mark 1 light flak, heavy flak. Lumberjack Mine Launcher. And for their opponents, we have the Fee, first ship for the Dmitrij's Angels, Watch a Goldfish with left side light carronade, right side Gatling, and finally their ally, the Victor Stromstrom, Judgment, front Lumberjack, Mercury Artemis, with a right side Hwacha. So the one thing I mentioned in the previous game was that I felt the Corsair really did not give the Fancy Tuna Search Squad much long-range damage. The ship is very powerful, but it only has one forward-facing weapon, which makes it kind of a liability in long-range engagements. You definitely have reduced firepower compared to any of the better sniping ships like Mobula or a Judgment, which can easily have 3 guns firing on a target at long range. So this switch to the Judgment I do like a lot. I feel that Victor Stromstrom, the differences between the two Judgment builds here, King Anne's Pardon is much heavier on kill power, while the Victor Stromstrom is bringing a more disable heavy build with the Artemis as opposed to the King Anne's Pardon's heavy flak. Heavy flak, and I've already forgotten what's the... Heavy flak and also a mine launcher. So King Anne's Pardon can be heavily relying on Lumberjack for long-range disable. They have no shatter damage, which is going to be a problem here versus the Stromstrom already getting the bad end of the Judgment Sniper duel, forcing Friendfish to move on from the Phi and charge directly into the Victor Stromstrom's Hwacha barrage. But they do get a Hwacha connection of their own as well as a bump backwards. And Friendfish definitely going to be wanting to engage their carronade here. That's how they're going to be able to get the kill. Hwacha by itself, not going to do it, but if they're able to keep the light carronade in arcs and suppress the Judgment's balloon, they can keep their guns out of arc for the entirety of the fight. And you see them now here turning for the light carronade. But Victor Stromstrom a little too low for the, going for the Gatling, not the light carronade. Not able to actually take down the armor as well. And King Anne's Pardon is able to kill the opposing Goldfish. I assume a heavy flak shot or environment, whatever, in the background. And now they do, Friendfish does get the balloon disable on the Stromstrom. Still in Hwacha arcs. Able to take down the Hwacha, the Friendfish's Hwacha, so this buys the Stromstrom a little bit of time to try to get out of this situation before light carronade comes back in. And Phi, with close spawn, seems like Victor Stromstrom, unless one of those those long-range heavy flak shots connects, Blue Judgment going to be able to survive long enough for their ally Goldfish to move back in and push the Friendfish away. Also want to point out, I did mention it in the chat, but we do have substitutes for Blue Team. Dianali and Delorum having connection issues today. They have been replaced by Hellfire as the captain of the Blue Goldfish. And I think Fei Lin is the engineer who is swapped in. And we do see Lumberjack shots landing on the King Anne's Pardon. Not able to get a balloon disabled just yet, as the Goldfish dueled out its center map. Both these guys are basically just looking for an opportunity to safely disengage and charge the opposing ship. They can't just... Goldfish cannot just go for the slow target immediately, because it means they are ceding the advantage to the opposing Goldfish. So you kind of have to keep tabs on each other and then look for an opening, where you saw the Friendfish was forced to back up a little bit, and Phi took that as the moment to charge in for their ally. It's a subtle thing, but it's important in these team compositions that are split between a fast ship and a slow ship. The moment of switching the target is very important, and we do see mine coming out. Not able to deploy. King Anne's Pardon's pretty heavily damaged, so I don't think they're going to be able to get a Hwacha barrage immediately. We'll see. Well, we'll see. They're ducking down. They do get arcs on the King Anne's Pardon, but a very fast armor rebuild for the Judgment. And now with the terrain blocking, this is going to be a little bit tricky. Once again, a situation where the Goldfish is going to want to get the light carronade into effect in a big, what's it called? Lochnagar mine hit on the Phi. Another Hwacha barrage coming down. Mine launcher is disabled by the Hwacha. There's light carronade. Gunner stamina arcs hitting here. And these mines are making it a little bit difficult for the Phi to actually chase their target to the floor of the map. And Friendfish, hey, welcome back. Welcome back, friend. Able to disengage from the Victor Strong long enough to support their ally. Oh, and Friendfish taking big damage here. This was maybe a bit of a mistake from the Friendfish to put themselves in this position, because the King Anne's Pardon is already very heavily damaged, and Friendfish gave up 60% of their health just there to keep them alive. So now, instead of having one damaged ship, which if they lost would tie up the score, they now have two very heavily damaged ships. And this is one of those in the moment decisions you have to make. Is a Judgment at 15% health worth risking a full health Goldfish to save? And Tuna Squad, in this situation, they do think that is a worthwhile cause. We'll see if it works out for them as the Hwacha hit comes out. Some connections on the Friendfish to unarmored hull, but not a full connection. King Anne's Pardon, on the other hand, another great armor rebuild, very quick for the Judgment. Both red ships struggling to stay alive. Friendfish on pixel health. And I think this might be it. Gatling hitting the Judgment's armor. It goes down. Hwacha not quite ready. Oh, there it goes. Still able to finish them off. So you see what I was just saying, is Judgment still dies, and now the Friendfish is probably going to die as well. So ultimately not working out for red, giving away the lead to their opponents, as well as center map control. Sometimes it's better just to let your ally go. That's one of those tough choices you have to make, rather than put yourself in a bad situation. And we'll see where Fancy Tuna Search Squad does decide to spawn. Dmitrij's Angels already pushing to the south side of the map looking for spawns, and it seems like the red team gonna take the westmost spawn here, which will give them, I guess, a bit of breathing room. Like I said also before, I feel like Victor Strom gonna have the edge in any sort of long-range engagement, so I don't think red necessarily wants to take on a full-on sniper duel, but just wants like a moment to collect themselves and decide what their next play is going to be. And currently, red team is splitting up with King Anne's Pardon moving more center map. Friendfish coming in behind the blue team. King Anne's Pardon is spotted first, so the Phi moves in, but then quickly backs out. Looks like blue team wants to dual focus on the Friendfish, and Friendfish gonna have to do some evasive maneuvers to stay alive. I think they're gonna be able to get behind the terrain before any real damage is done, but it's a little bit of a risky play by the red Goldfish. And Judgment's engaging each other with their long-range guns, while the Friendfish, from a protected position, waits to move in. And immediately spotted, so no surprises. Hwacha barrage coming out, not able to actually take down any components. Victor Strom a little too far for the Hwacha to really be effective. And already the Phi has been pulled away from their ally. Uh-oh. Friendfish trying to disengage, taking a little bit of a bump, giving the Phi enough time to fully engage them, going for the ram as well. Balloon, not a lot of balloon damage actually. It looks like the damage went into one of the components, as the Friendfish is able to get a Hwacha barrage of their own. This is a tight corridor for the Goldfish to be fighting in. These are very long ships, and when they start turning around, that rear engine will definitely catch on pieces of terrain. And this is strangely erotic, what's happening on the screen here. as the goldfish lightly caressing each other with the tips of their balloon. Looks like King Anne's Pardon. The fight has moved far enough away from the terrain for the King Anne's Pardon to get some long-range arcs on the Fi, some supporting fire. And the Fi is forced to duck down behind terrain to zone out the Judgment's long-range shots. King Anne's Pardon losing their balloon to the Lumberjack of the Victor Stromstrom. Light carronades coming out. We'll see which goldfish. Looks like Fi gonna lose their balloon first. Friendfish, full health balloon, full armor. Fi struggling to keep their balloon up, and if they lose their balloon here, this could be really bad. Friendfish bumping them against the terrain, but Victor Stromstrom has showed up out of nowhere behind the Friendfish, and suddenly a huge amount of firepower centering on the Friendfish, and King Anne's Pardon totally left out of the party. Is Stromstrom? Yes, they bumped the Friendfish down. They're able to save their ally, and suddenly Friendfish, they just took too long to kill the blue goldfish, and now they are super dead here. They have to run. They're hydrogening up. Balloon is low. No engines. Very close range. Well, the goldfish... goldfish died. That's unfortunate. Seems like maybe the Fi got stuck on terrain and was unable to separate themselves, which is a collision bug that sometimes occurs in this game. Usually on Paraton Rumble. I'm not sure I've ever seen it happen on this map. But I think they had full armor. That's rough beats for the Dmitrij's Angels. And without the Fi, Friendfish is able to tank long enough. Well, we'll see. They've done a good job so far. King Anne's Pardon is moving in from the rear. Victor Stromstrom going to go for the ram, try to get a fast kill. They need to kill this goldfish before the King Anne's Pardon is able to engage their firepower. And I think Stromstrom going to go for maybe another ram here. Dropping in on top of the Friendfish. But no, Friendfish able to move away. Move out of the downward trajectory of the Victor Stromstrom. And now King Anne's Pardon has gun arcs on the Blue Judgment. Fi has spawned back in. Moving in to target the Friendfish. Friendfish is in third stage of damage. And Dmitrij's Angels should be aware of this. So all they need, all blue team needs, is one armor strip to take down this blue goldfish. Friendfish instead going for a ram, able to knock the Hwacha out of arc as Victor Stromstrom switches focus to the Friendfish. This is the dual focus that they wanted earlier, but better late than never, I suppose, as the armor on the Friendfish does burn down. A small window for explosives to come back in, but I don't think Victor Stromstrom is in a position to do. Heavy flak shots coming in a little too late. Not heavy flak, whatever gun that was. I guess upward Hwacha shots. And the Lumberjack, because that's right, Victor Stromstrom, their only explosive damage is the Hwacha as well as the Artemis. And from that low position, Artemis does not have very good upwards arcs, so they're relying on their ally Fi to get the kill there, which they are able to do, taking back the lead, and fight taking place on Blue's side of the map. So King Anne's Pardon, never mind, I lied, it's red side of the map. So Friendfish has spawned behind the Victor Stromstrom. Hwacha Barrage coming out immediately, but a little too far to stop the Stromstrom from moving in on their ally, the King Anne's Pardon. Are we going to start seeing mines coming in? Mine launchers rebuilt. Still up. It survived the Hwacha Barrage. Never mind, just died to the Artemis. King Anne's Pardon very heavily damaged. They have 3 engines down. The armor's down. No, armor's still up. Mallet hit comes in. They're moonshining, trying to adjust their position very quickly as all the ships start bumping into each other. Fi still having a lot of difficulty with this piece of terrain, but they are able to eke out a Hwacha Barrage on the rear of the King Anne's Pardon, get the armor destruction, but the explosive damage is spent, so King Anne's Pardon able to rebuild it without taking any permanent health loss. Victor mine hit on the Fi, losing armor. And now Fi is in the way of the Victor Stromstrom. So those Lumberjack shots actually going into the Fi's balloon rather than the King Anne's Pardon. And the Friendfish able to get a fantastic quadra connection on the Victor Stromstrom. All their guns are down, armor down as well. Balloon is low. Light Carronade going to finish off the balloon for the Victor. King Anne's Pardon trying to get out of their repair cycle, get that last engine up so that they can switch, so that they can turn and hit one of these two targets. The Victor Stromstrom very low. So it seems like Phi is going to be the dual focus target of the Fancy Tuna search squad, and also only 4 minutes left on the clock. This has been a very long, very action-packed game, but it means that a lot's going to have to happen in a short amount of time for one of these teams to actually close this out with 5 points. And Victor Stromstrom still very heavily damaged. They got the drogue chute to try to stay in the air, but balloon is down. 3 engines are down. Friendfish chasing them to the bottom of the map. King Anne's Pardon, the red team not going to be able to get a dual focus because the Judgment is going to take too long to really turn around. So King Anne's Pardon going to rise up and hit the Phi instead. Another great mine connection on the Phi. Friendfish running from the Victor Stromstrom, losing their balloon to the Light Carronade of the Phi. Oh, which of these ships is going to be the first to go down? Phi once again losing armor and balloon. Blue team really wants to get the kill on the King Anne's Pardon. They're still they're very low health, so if the armor goes down on the Judgment, either of these blue ships could easily get the kill, as both the Judgments losing their balloon to the Lumberjacks, sinking to the bottom of the map. Stromstrom moving in, Phi drops down, but King Anne's Pardon able to hydrogen up, staying out of the Phi's gun arcs, forcing the blue goldfish to back away. Watch a barrage from the Victor Stromstrom. Armor super low, but the King Anne's Pardon's armor does stay up. Still heavily disabled, so they're not going to be able to contribute much to this fight. Oh, another Artemis shot into the balloon. And King Anne's Pardon dropping down. Could this be it for the Red Judgment? Oh, I'm just waiting for that armor rebuild. There it is. Mallet hit comes in as well, so they're fine for the moment. Friendfish very aggressively pushing in to try to give their ally a little bit of breathing room, but taking damage in the process. And Phi goes into the balloon of the King Anne's Pardon. Mine actually pushing them forward. King Anne's Pardon so low. They have nothing. They have an engine and a gun. Gatling coming out, able to finish them off. And now match point, tournament point for the Dmitrij's Angels. Friendfish has to run. I don't think they're going to be able to. Armor is down. Artemis shots coming in. Next armor kill will do it. And the Dmitrij's Angels able to take out Fancy Tuna Search Squad, able to take the tournament. And they are your winners of SCS number 207. A little bit of internet issues earlier in the event, but they're able to pull it together for the finals with some substitute players and take the tournament.